Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am filming in my son's nursery. This is my favorite room in the house, and honestly right now this is the only time that I can get some peace and quiet and try to get this done. It's been probably 2.5, 3 weeks since my last video. I apologize. It has been very busy here. I work full-time as an ed tech, so I am with my kids all day long. My students, I call them my kids. They're very much like my children. I love every single one of them. But anyway, another subject, another time. So this is my side job, and I'm excited to share with you all the stuff that I have learned and all the knowledge I have acquired in a few short months. So obviously, if you guys are here, you are wanting to know more about how to start a luxury picnic company. Where do you look? What do you do? Well, I have a list, and I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can to help guide you along your journey. It's not very long, which is good, but there's a lot to do. So, first things first, on my list, we have go online and do your research. This is very important. It's looking up whether or not you have other companies in your area, making sure that this is something that you actually want to do because it looks fun, it's very appealing, but there is a lot of work to it. A lot. Like a lot of work. You really have to be willing to put in the full effort. After you do your research online, you can start brainstorming names and looking up how to get an LLC started or a sole proprietorship. Proprietorship? I went with an LLC, as you can see. I cannot pronounce that. But anyway, sorry, let me adjust. It's been a really long day for me. I don't know how all of you guys are doing, but here in Maine, it is April, the end of April, and it is starting to get warmer, though it did snow here a couple of days ago, so the weather's confused. We're all confused. So, anyway, back to it. Thinking about a name. Make sure that when you're doing your research, you're making sure that you're not trying to take somebody else's name. And that's part of starting the LLC process, is that it's going to secure your name for you so that you know that nobody else is going to take that. Starting the LLC process isn't difficult. A lot of people will go through like a small lawyer to do it. Honestly, I think as an entrepreneur and as other entrepreneurs, like it is in your soul to want to do it yourself. So I think that's cheaper. It's a little bit more work, but it is cheaper. For me in Maine, it was $175 to secure my name and my LLC formation. If I was to go through a lawyer, it probably would have been double, if not triple that. The only reason I know that is because my brother is a lawyer, and he said on average it's about $600 for him to do it for somebody else. So after you kind of get that ball rolling, you will get several weeks later, and I mean several because it has to come in the mail, your LLC formation paperwork back, and then that's where all the fun begins and the like reality of it kind of settles in, because it's not just an idea anymore, it's a concrete thing. You're online, your name is there, your address is there. So anyway, do we have next on the list? After we start our LLC, we need to file for a tax ID number and an EIN number, because you're going to need to be able to pay your taxes and do all of that legal stuff. Because as much as some people might want to, put off starting all the legal stuff just to see if there's a market, while that's all good and fine and dandy, it can get you into trouble because you can't really be running a business without doing that stuff. It will catch up to you. And well, I'll get to that later. Permits. After you get your tax ID and your EIN, you think about getting insurance. For me, I live in the Down East Maine area, which is like Bar Harbor, Ellsworth, and that's where Acadia National Park is. So in order to be inside of the park and be on park property, because there's 47,000 acres of Acadia National Park in Maine, and there's only 6 picnic areas, but you have to have a commercial use permit in order to be able to operate within the park at all, because you're conducting business, you know, like every government agency. They want some of your money. You didn't hear that from me. But anyway, you have to pay your fees. It's $300 for the permit to be within this park. I'm not sure what it is for other national parks, but I'm probably sure it's similar to that. I'm not exclusive just to the park. I'm in the whole entire area because we have a lot of beautiful coastal views that people want to see. People come to hike and to go eat lobster and do all that sort of stuff that Mainers are famous for. And yeah, so I couldn't really just keep myself to one area. There are a lot of really beautiful things to see. So in order to be within the park, I have to have insurance that names the park so that in the case that something happened, I would be liable. The park would, you know, be covered. Everything would be fine and dandy. And then you'll go through another whole waiting process. And this is important because not the waiting, but the permit, because it, trust me when I say you do not want to get caught by somebody who's asking you if you have a permit and you don't have a permit, and then you get slapped with a nice fine and the park tells you not to come back before you even began. That will put a damper in your entire picnic season, let me tell you. So don't do that. Along with permits, I wrote down that we should talk about cottage food laws. So when I told everybody that I was starting this picnic company, I got asked a lot of questions of like, do you do food? Do you provide that service? I personally do not. In Maine, we have cottage food laws that are pretty strong, and there's only a few foods that are under the safe and permitted foods. And one of them is candy. So I do provide like candy grazer boards. You can look down in a couple of videos. There's like a couple 1-minute TikTok clips. But I do offer that because that is on the okay list. But anything that is like not shelf stable, meats, charcuterie boards, unfortunately, I would have to have a commercial kitchen and a commercial license in order to do that. And I don't have the time. I have a toddler and a dog and a farm and a full-time job other than this. So it just doesn't make sense for me time-wise to manage, to manage more than I can handle. So I just did candy. So I would suggest looking up the cottage food laws in your state and figuring out what you can and can't do. And if you don't want to do food, like I do not want to do food, I have reached out to different restaurants in the area, and I wrote a nice template that I had gotten from one of my awesome picnic friends on Facebook. Michelle Washington, another awesome picnic planner, has a Facebook group for picnic planners. If you go look her up, Simply Michelle, I think she has a link on there for the picnic group. But really great resource. Anyway, what was I on? Cottage food laws. So I am reaching out. I had reached out to a couple of restaurants, and like I said, I had written this template, and I sent it to them. I hand delivered it because it's more personal when you hand deliver it. An email can get lost, so don't even waste your time with an email. And I'm an email kind of person. Like I work in an office. That's part of what I do. But it's really nice when restaurants feel like you are trying to keep things local, and it gives people an option to have food even if you don't provide it. They can still eat. They won't be starving the entire time. They can order the food through me, and then I order it through the restaurant. And if you want me to put the template that I was given down in the description box, I can do that for you. Here we have, yes, okay. So after we have done all of the name, the LLC process, the tax, the insurance, and the permits, start brainstorming theme ideas. So how many theme ideas do you want? How are you going to price things? How are you going to carry things? What kind of themes do you want? Do you live in a state where you could utilize your state's themes? Like for me, like I said, I live in Maine, so everybody loves lobster. So I have a Maine theme that caters to all of the kind of touristy Maine things. I also have a bohemian, a farmhouse, and a pink. It was kind of like girls themed, but then I thought that was like too gender specific, so I just went with pink. And those are my personal themes. We do also have a winter option because, like everybody knows, Maine has lots and lots of snow. So we have a winter option. It's not currently available because I'm still collecting all the things that I need for that. But what I had said earlier, how much can you carry? So in one of my last videos, I frantically sorted things into boxes, and it wasn't really slow and thoughtful and thought out. It's just, you guys kind of just watched me like run around real quick. But I sorted things into boxes because for me, it helps my brain categorize things better when I can see them separated into the things that they're supposed to be in. And that way it makes it easier to just grab things and go. I know also sometimes people will make their own tables. That's a whole nother thing. I personally bought my tables. I have 4 tables that can fit comfortably. They can fit 2 people. Uncomfortably, it's a little squished 4 people or so. But that's pushing it. But all of my themes are really, all that really needs to be changed out is like little decor things, because you just want to be careful not to buy too much of what you don't want. And when you're thinking about themes, you need to make sure that when you think about those themes, that you're looking those themes up on Pinterest, on Google Images, making a vision board, coming up with things to, little details to put in here. You just want to make sure that it looks thought out, but not cheap. Because you don't want people, you don't want to be labeling things luxury picnics and then having it look like you didn't put very much love or very much effort into it. But that is for another whole video when I do my own picnic setups. I'm really excited to show you guys what I have coming, and I will get to that in a minute. But okay, how much stuff can you carry? Who would just stay with your stuff? Are you going to be by yourself, or do you plan on hiring somebody? Because this is something I really didn't think about. I didn't really consider until recently that I might need somebody extra to stay with my picnic setups. Because like I have said, I am going to be, once my permit's approved, within the park, and I will need to drive up to the picnic area, and then I'm going to have to drive down and meet the client, and I'm going to need to make sure that somebody stays with my picnic stuff so that somebody doesn't steal it. So that is something you have to consider. You don't want people to steal your stuff. So how are you going to have somebody wait with it if you have to drive in order to meet with people? All right, last thing I have on my list here is advertising. So advertising is a big thing. It is very important. Personally, what I have done is I've made a Facebook page. I made a website. I went through Wix because I was able to build it and do it myself. Like I said, it's just kind of, I have a vision in my head of like what I want it to look like. And I have a TikTok. Obviously, I have this YouTube. And I just started an Instagram, but I don't really have anything that I really want to share on Instagram because I want it to be very aesthetic, and I don't have any professional photos taken of my stuff yet. And I don't want to share my stuff online until I know that it's perfect, and that's kind of hard for me to do. So anyway, advertising, very important. Also, I work at a preschool, like I had said, so we do an advertisement campaign once a month, and we hook up with a local radio station. So I found that going to the local radio station, talking to those people was really, really helpful, because for at least this specific radio station, for $600, you get like several ads a day on several radio stations, which is nice because that's a huge way to advertise. Word of mouth, all of that, obviously. Boosting your Facebook posts for $5 at a time. Honestly, just selling yourself as best as you can to keep people interested and keep people wondering, what is this? What can I learn about it? But I am very excited to share that coming up, I'm doing a styled shoot collab with a local photographer, and we're going to be doing a mock proposal and setting up this beautiful display, and I get to use the pictures for advertising. And then a week after that, I have my actual business photography, and I have a really qualified graphic designer who's going to be doing my brochures. I didn't even think about doing brochures until my boss had suggested that I go check out the local Chamber of Commerce, and the tourists would want to look at different brochures there. Also, if you guys have, this is another great advertising tip, local barter and swap sites, putting your name out there and just saying, hey, I exist, is a great way to branch out and network yourself. I got a lot of followers on my Facebook page for sharing myself on the barter and swap site. And I keep meaning to show you guys this. I finally got a beautiful logo. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. There it is. Luxury Picnics Acadia. Check me out. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for today. My launch is June 1st, so cross your fingers for me. And I will be back to document the photo shoot in a couple of weeks. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. So good luck with everything, and I hope that you guys continue to reach for your goals. And I really hope that this helped you in some way. And if you have more questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I will do my best to answer them. All right, have a great rest of your week.